Welcome, everybody, to Strangest Species, the strangest podcast that you are going to listen to right now.
Right now.
Right. It might not be the strangest one like you're ever going to listen to, but right now it's going to be the strangest one.
Gotcha. I like it.
Yeah. I'm your host, Mike Davis, here with Ethne Davis, the other host.
Yep. You know it.
The hostess with the most deaths.
Yep. That works.
That's you.
It's very common. I was a hostess at a restaurant.
Sweet.
Yeah. I've been
I've
there.
never worked any kind of restaurant.
It was
I
good
try
stuff.
not to work anywhere
Yeah. Well,
as much as possible.
it's part of just life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truth.
Got a lot of wet, heavy snow yesterday.
I noticed that.
Right?
Yeah.
Was that just yesterday? We spent two
What
and a
day is
half
it
hours.
today?
Yes.
Yeah.
2.5 hours shoveling all the driveway, the walkways, the back,
And not even just shoveling, like using
like
equipment to also move snow.
It was the heaviest, wettest, most dense, like snow, but tons of it. I don't
Yeah.
know. It was ridiculous.
It snowed a little bit the night before, and you asked me, like, are you going to go shovel? I was like, nah, I think it's going to snow a little bit more, and then it's supposed to rain.
It was just
It's going to kind of melt, and I'm going to have to shovel again in the morning, so I'll just wait. Well, it didn't snow a little more. It snowed a
was like a
whole
lot.
lot more.
But the funny
And it
thing
did
is,
rain,
we
and
had
then it was heavy.
5 of us. Now, granted, some of them are younger kids, and they kind of peter out pretty quick. But
There's actually 6 of us.
well, Vienna didn't do anything.
Oh, no, that's true.
Yeah. So
My bad.
yeah. So really, 3, I'll say 3 full adults of work, you know, with all the kids combined. It took that long. It was the worst snow to shovel. But if you're trying to make a snowman, I mean, it's like epic.
It's good snowman snow.
Yes. Super heavy, sticky snow. So that was exhausting.
It was exhausting.
And now I feel very limber after yoga today.
We went to yin yoga tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's amazing. I love it.
What is yin yoga? I mean, I know what it is because I just did it, but like,
I don't actually know. Like, it means really chill. Like, you're supposed to hold each pose or position for like 3 to 4 minutes so that you can get deep into the fascia. You like go to the next
it's like
level.
mega stretching.
Yes.
Like, I don't like yoga because I don't like doing most of the poses. But this is really cool. You, like, most of it, you're just laying on your back with your feet up against a wall. And then, so it's not like a lot of core strength like normal
Posture and you sit tall.
A lot of stretching.
Yeah, it's
like
great.
half asleep stretching.
It's amazing. It's so relaxing.
It was good.
Yeah. She
I
makes you
enjoyed
do
it.
body twists like you're in the, but then you're in a side twist, like where your shoulders are going one way and your hips kind of roll the other way for like 3 minutes. And it's incredible because it just kind of, you get to a new level. It just feels good. Anyway.
Especially after shoveling for a few hours.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was perfect. It's like
It was
exactly
good.
what I needed. So
It was really good.
yeah. And
I've never
Everett
done it before.
got to go with us and he is a rock star because I can't imagine anyone else besides Vienna doing that with us. Like,
Well, he fell asleep, so.
but I mean, just to be chill enough to sit, you know what I mean,
yeah,
and
the
be
other two
quiet.
boys
Yeah, it would
ruin
be
for everybody.
for everybody. So I was really impressed with him, and he would be cute and just look over at me and smile and kind of wink at me. But I got 2 kisses by 2 of my boys underneath the mistletoe tonight.
Nice.
Actually, did you kiss me under the mistletoe today?
No.
Oh, could have been 3.
You missed out on that one.
Yeah, shame on you.
Yeah.
All right.
Found some real life mistletoe at Trader Joe's.
So they say. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like plastic.
It doesn't look very real, but that's what it says.
Deserve it.
But I got 2 kisses. I was pretty impressed.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Look at you.
It was cute.
Did I ever tell you about the time, I was thinking about this earlier today, that I accidentally drove off while my car was still hooked to the gas pump?
Oh, I feel like that's vaguely familiar.
We were married at the time.
Yeah, but I don't feel like you got all the way.
Well, it broke, so
Oh, you broke it?
yeah.
Like gas came guzzling out?
No, they have like a quick release. They're designed for idiots like me to drive off while they're still attached.
Oh. I
And
mean,
they
I
have,
feel
like,
like this is
this-
vaguely familiar, but I
They
couldn't
pop
tell
off,
you
apparently.
when, where, how.
Yeah. was really late. I was coming home from basketball. It was like midnight.
When you were just
I
out of
needed
it.
gas. And I drove
Were
off.
we in Boise?
No, it was in Richland.
It was in Richland. Post, pre. Like you were newlywed or like before?
We've lived there twice. That's what I'm trying to think. I know. I think it was the second time around.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry for everyone involved. That was a terrible situation you probably found yourself
It was
in.
fascinating because I went into the gas station holding the pump. And I was like, this is yours. I don't know what to do with this.
Did they just laugh or
The
they
guy
like
was also like, oh, I don't know what to do with that either. He's like, I think I'm supposed to take like down your information just in case, but that's not a big deal. I was like, okay.
Huh. I mean, I didn't know the extent of it.
Yeah. But that's about it.
I was probably sleeping.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that when I was writing tonight's script.
It's about people that are idiots driving away.
You calling me an idiot?
No, I mean,
No.
you were the one that said that yourself, right?
I think I did.
Yeah, you did.
So today's story, we're going to go back to 1995. So not very long ago. What you looking for? Her watcher. She can't reach it. She's leaving her microphone.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Okay, I'm
she'll
back.
be
Okay.
So we're going to talk about a Frenchman today.
Ooh.
You like French stuff?
Do I?
Yeah. You're Canadian.
Okay. Yes, I do.
His name is Stéphane Breitwieser.
That doesn't sound very French.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be Pierre
Well, it's not.
or Jean Chrétien
Or Jean Valjean.
or Jean Valjean
Or Javert.
or Javert.
Or
Yeah.
Marius.
Any of those. That would have been cool. Okay.
On the way home from the play yesterday, I was singing, for some reason, a song from Les Mis.
Oh, okay.
And Vienna was asking me, what's that from? And I told her. And then she was kind of asking me about Les Mis. And so I tried giving her, like, the cliff notes of
So complicated.
a 1,000,000-page novel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was funny. I was explaining it for like 4 minutes, and I was like, and that's the end of Act 1. Like, wow, a lot happens before.
Yeah, before there's a whole, there's a lot going on.
I was telling her how Cosette's an adult. She's like, well, I thought Cosette was a kid. I'm like, well, she is a kid at the beginning, but then we jump forward like 20 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I don't remember why that came up. Oh, because we're talking about French names. Anyways, Stéphane. So he was vacationing in Switzerland.
Ooh, I want to go there.
Yeah. With his new girlfriend, Anne Catherine Kleinklaus.
That sounds like German a little bit. Kleinklaus?
Yeah, so does Breitwieser.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. His last name sounds German, not French per se, but
I don't pick the names, man.
that's okay.
And so they're visiting this famous castle there.
Okay.
In, shoot, I don't remember where they were. Somewhere in, what's the kind of cheese you do with fondue? Gruyere?
Gruyere.
How do you say that word?
Gruyere.
So that's the city they were in.
There's a city named that?
Yeah.
Oh.
In Switzerland.
Okay,
Where
cool.
they make that cheese.
Oh.
So they were there at this castle. And they're walking around, and it's not an art museum, but there's lots of art in the castle, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like old paintings
Yeah.
and swords and whatever.
Makes sense.
And he walks by and he sees this painting by, I don't remember who, a German guy in a Swiss castle. But he just falls in love with this painting. It just touches him. It speaks to his soul. You know how it is with art when it just talks to your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And he decides, man, I want that painting. So his girlfriend and him haven't been together very long. So he looks over to her and he says, hey, do you want to steal this painting?
Why do we jump to that first conclusion? Like, why can't we look for a print of that painting? Or why can't we get a poster of that painting? Why are we jumping to, let's steal this painting?
It just felt right, man.
From a castle? I feel like that's a dumb move.
Well, it spoke to him. Maybe it told him, steal me.
Maybe.
I want
I just
to go
feel like
home
that's
with you.
a very drastic, like,
hey, we can stop at the gift shop and see if they have
Yeah.
like a
like a
replica.
poster version. Totally.
Yeah. I like that plan.
Okay.
But he thought, I should probably steal this super, this 400-year-old painting or whatever.
Yeah, in a castle that I'm sure has no security.
Right.
Okay,
So
cool.
he asked his new girlfriend.
And
what do you think she says?
I hope she was like me. Like, no, you idiot. Let's go buy a poster of it.
See, that would be the appropriate response, but our story wouldn't be very exciting if that's what she said.
Okay.
So, and Catherine was like, cool, yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So.
They are meant for each other.
How do you think you steal a painting? A 400-year-old painting from a castle?
I don't actually know the size of this painting. And is it framed in glass? Does it have a nice frame? Or is it like a canvas type? Fake kind of ish of the original or whatever, a print of the original. Like that's very important information.
So it's a real one.
Okay.
It's just hanging there.
But how big?
I don't know how big this one was.
I don't know. I just feel
like it's not
like there are a lot of strange people in the world.
It's just sitting there.
Okay.
So
he shoved it under his shirt?
Well, the castle's pretty empty. There's just people walking around. It's like an open touristy spot.
Oh gosh.
It wasn't a high traffic art museum, It wasn't like the Guggenheim or the Louvre.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
So he just took the painting down, popped it out of the frame, rolled it up, put it in his backpack.
Yeah, but if it's that old, if you roll up something that old, it is not going to last very long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I've never dealt with old antique canvases before.
Yeah, it's not. But anyway, okay.
And they just walk out with it.
Wow.
And this begins Stephane's passion for stealing art.
Okay.
Like, a lot of people have passions.
Yeah.
Like you love
gardening.
Being
out in the yard.
You love cleaning up after our children.
No, I don't love that.
Oh,
I just feel like that's all I do.
Right. Oh, I thought that's because you liked it.
I spent my whole life cleaning up after them. Okay, anyway.
I like writing.
Yeah.
I like, playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Like people have passions. Stephane's passion was stealing old art from the masters.
I feel like there's better passions.
So yeah, so he gets this like he's like, hey, that felt good. I like that.
It's like a rush.
Yeah. And so he decides he wants to do some more. And so if you wanted to become an art thief, what do you think you would need? Like, let's say right now, tomorrow, you decide, I'm going to become an art thief. Obviously here in Spokane, we don't got great art. But let's say you're living in Europe. What would you do? Like, would you get a team? Would you study blueprints? Would you, where would you go?
I feel like I need to get inside of National Treasure's brains.
The movie.
Yeah. That's what it's making me think of. I feel like I would
have to invest in some tools, right?
Yeah, I would invest in some tools that you could take apart frames in intricate ways. But that's about all I got.
So Stéphane quickly learned that while yes, the big fancy museums in Europe had high-tech security and cameras and guards and all that kind of stuff, there are literally hundreds of museums with works from major artists where the art just hung freely. And there's no glass cases. Nothing's bolted down.
Wow.
There's not much as in the way of guards.
Wow.
And I think this is maybe hard for us to comprehend here in the States because we don't have art museums like in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Where most of these artists are from Europe.
Right.
And so you have a lot more of these small towns that have
right.
one or two, maybe not the big pieces of, the famous artists, but smaller ones they did and stuff. Like when we lived in Cleveland, the Cleveland Art Museum had original Van Goghs in it.
Yeah, it did.
It had original Picassos in it. Not famous ones per se.
But there was one, that was a very big art museum.
It was a very nice art museum. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of security.
Mm-hmm.
But even there in Cleveland, you had originals from
Yeah.
masters.
Famous people.
Right.
So, okay. So once you steal them, if you're a stealer of art, are you rehanging them and reframing them? That's a very expensive procedure.
Yeah, I hate having to frame crap.
Well, so that's what I'm saying is like, you're stealing them. Is he reselling them?
So we'll get there.
Okay,
That's
are
what he
we
does with
keeping,
it.
like, what are you doing with these after you have them?
Yeah. So the cool thing about Stéphane's work, or maybe not cool, but interesting, is that he never came up with a master plan. He never had cool tools. He never...
Maybe that was part of the rush, was like, I'm just going to wing it and then see what my...
Well, you're kind of right. So his tool kit comprised of a screwdriver.
Nice.
Yeah.
Flathead, plus or minus?
You know, I'm not sure what style. I don't even know in Europe what kind of screws they mostly use.
Oh,
I am
that's
a
true.
T15 kind of fan. I hate Phillips and flatheads. When
Is
I
that
buy
the
screw-
star?
Yeah.
Oh, T15, huh?
Yeah.
It's like evil T1000. So I love the Japanese way because I could never remember, like, is it a Phillips or a... Oh, what's the other one?
A flathead?
Is it... No, but doesn't it have a, like, an actual name? Anyway.
No.
So
Maybe in Canada you guys call it something different.
I think so. So anyway, in Japan, though, they're just called the plus and the minus. I was like, this is amazing because I know which one you're talking about.
They're both very inefficient ways to
Oh,
do
I think the
screws.
plus is great. The minus is not so great.
So Phillips, the plus, is only good if you have the right bit for it, or you'll just strip it.
Well, isn't that true with, like, anything? If you don't have the right bit, you'll strip it?
Right, but I mean, you could get like a million different kinds of...
But
Phillips.
the T15, like, so in the chicken coop, I was trying to rearrange their roosting sticks, and there's also a bigger size of the star.
Oh, sure. Yeah. There's multiple sizes.
So I still was doing the same thing. I didn't realize it was like the bit I had was a little bit too small.
Mm-hmm.
And so I needed a bigger star
Mm-hmm.
or whatever you call it. And so I was kind of stripping them. So I think, isn't that...
It's much harder to strip. Like there's so many little teeth in there. And it works so much better once you have the right one.
You got good torque. Yeah, it just feels right.
Good, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like that he just has a screwdriver. It's simple. Not a lot of overhead. It's a good business model.
This is true. You gotta keep the overhead down when you're stealing.
When you're stealing other
pieces
people's
of
art.
So his art heists always took place during the daytime when the museum was open.
Yeah, I mean, because you draw less attention. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're trying to break into somewhere, that's like another
There's
felony.
no James Bondy, Mission
Right.
Impossible, Ocean's 11
Totally.
style. They were always open. There were always other patrons there. There were always security guards there. So he would steal from the same museum multiple times in like a couple weeks, wearing very like crappy disguises just to make sure the security guards didn't recognize him. So he, in 6 years, he managed to pull off 239 heists.
Wow.
Pretty impressive, eh?
Yeah. But I mean, are these originals?
From 172 different art galleries
Wow.
from 7 countries. Guess how much you think his private collection was worth? Or not his private collection, but how much he stole.
I legit have zero ballpark here. I have no idea. $1 million.
$1 million's a good guess. So with his screwdriver, over 6 years, he stole $1.4 billion in art. Easily becoming the most successful art thief in history. Except for maybe the Nazis. But single-handedly, definitely.
That's ridiculous.
$1.4 billion worth of art.
Did he realize what he was doing and how much like it was worth? Because he didn't resell it, right?
Well, again, we'll get there down the road here.
I just can't comprehend this. This is only
I don't know if he knew. I don't think he knew what it was all worth. There are some estimates, like Time, I want to say it was Time magazine. Someone has the ballpark up to $1.9 billion worth of art. But seems like the consensus.
So I
is
still
1.4.
feel like whether you get caught in the moment or you get caught 6 years later, you're still in big doo-doo. And I don't know how you're not going to get caught if you then try to sell them.
Well, that is the tricky part, is selling the art.
Yeah, I mean, duh.
So his $1.4 billion in art would have made Stefan one of the 250 richest people in the world.
Dang.
Yeah. But here's the tricky thing. In reality, him and Anne Catherine were super broke, living in his mom's attic apartment, and he worked as a waiter.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Where'd he put all the art?
So the question is, where's all the money? Like, if you have an art collection worth $1.4 billion.
But you're stealing it all. It's just worth that. It's like, all you have is a bunch of art.
You do have a bunch of art. So either you're holding on to the art and doing nothing with it.
Right.
Or you're selling it and making it look like you're really poor.
Oh, I mean, I guess that's an option.
But for Stefan and Anne Catherine.
So they stay together. This is like their, this is what brings them together.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should start stealing art.
No, thank you. I'd feel bad.
Do we? I guess we got other stuff that like bonds us.
Yeah. What could we steal? Like maybe we could steal something that would be helpful.
Steal something from Tia. That's our next door neighbor.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
And then we should go up the street to the other neighbors and just it'd bond us together.
We should steal something from Tia and then put it like in our living room and see if she ever says anything. Like, hey.
Okay.
Is that my, whatever?
I should steal the snowman's hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, she made a snowman with like the cutest set of snowman eyeballs and toque and mouth and buttons.
Okay, sorry, real quick. Side note. I have to translate. Anthony said they're toque. If you're in the United States, that means beanie.
Which is absurd.
Just
but
so you all know.
everyone knows that.
Nobody knows this in the world.
Anyway.
Except for Canadians.
Okay. And we could just be like, oh no, we just found it.
Yeah.
Like if she asks about it, that'd be great. We should just start doing this, like around the neighborhood, things that we just find in their yard. We just like leave them in places where they can see them.
Our other neighbors thought we should have Christmas inflatables. So maybe we should steal their inflatable and then put it in our yard. And
that would be hilarious. We got the same one as you.
Where'd your guys' go? You guys need more spirit over there, man.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Okay.
So
I don't know. That's the part I can't understand. Like, it's not money. It's art right now, but it's worth that much. So you're kind of in a pickle.
With his mom.
Yeah.
Well, with his girlfriend, but
upstairs with his mom.
Upstairs in his mom's house. And the reason that there's no money is because Stefan never sold a single piece. So what do you do with it?
That's what I was wondering. Like, if you're in an attic apartment, if you can call it that, there's no room to hang it on the walls unless you rotate them.
Yeah. So he reframed them and he hung them and he had them sitting in piles in the corner and he had them sitting on the tables. And
this is
in his crummy apartment.
Weirdest crap.
$1.4 billion.
Could you imagine if it burned down? Oh my gosh.
1.4 billion. Billion.
Yeah. Yeah. But then
from all the famous masters.
Did he just had no clue.
I'm sure he knew it was worth a lot of money, but
obviously he wasn't doing it for the money. He just was doing it for the rush.
Right.
Okay.
And that was another reason why he was so successful. You know, it would be nearly impossible to steal like the Mona Lisa or Starry Night.
Of course.
Scream or any of those kind of things, right? But if you're got some random, my lips bleeding.
It is.
All of a sudden, I was just like, tastes like blood.
It's because you're all dry and cracked.
All right. But if all of a sudden you're like in some small town and it's like, oh, this is the birthplace of Van Gogh. We've got 4 of his paintings in this place on the corner or whatever, and you grab some sketch that's not nearly as prominent or something,
Mm-hmm.
It's much easier to steal.
Yeah. This is strange for sure.
Yeah. So remember how I said on the first time that he was there and like the painting spoke to him?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how all of his art was. He stole them because he just liked the piece of art.
either way, you can like a piece of art and not steal it, right?
Sure. But what I'm saying is he wasn't out to steal art
For
because
money.
of its intrinsic value.
Right.
Like, oh, I need to go get this piece, or I need to get this artist or this time period. It was just like, that's a cool looking drawing.
That one speaks to me. I'm going to take it.
I'm going to take it and put it in my crummy apartment. Hang it on the wall.
Strange indeed.
Yeah. So, but that's also what allowed him to be successful for so long.
Right.
Because he wasn't trying to sell it on the black
So
market.
nobody was able to kind of follow him or
Right.
trace
So the vast majority of art thieves are found not from stealing it,
but from
but
trying to
think
sell
about
it.
trying to sell. Okay, so you've got an original Monet.
Yeah, of course.
Who you sell it to?
I don't even know. Really wealthy people, famous people.
Even really wealthy and famous people, it's got to be all through the black market, through back channels.
Oh,
You've got to
yeah.
get involved with really shady people to even have the contacts to sell. Bless you. Whoa. Yeah, good. Any more?
I'm done.
Oh, that was a pretty quick one for you.
3.
4.
Kind of. 3.
3.5.
3.5. Okay.
The over-under is like 4, so
That's true.
that was good.
That
Good
was.
job, babe.
Thank you.
But yeah, like it's just so hard to sell these kind of artworks because there's very few people who can afford them in very illegal circumstances.
Yeah, it's not a great market.
And so the police, I mean, they couldn't do anything
Right.
because just like, okay, these things are disappearing, but they're never showing back up.
Right. So how do we have no lead to follow?
Right.
Not. Yeah. Interesting.
So they just had to kind of wait for him to screw up.
Did he just like die with them in his house?
So the story gets a little crazy with where they go.
Oh.
So remember, he started in 1995, right?
Yeah.
So there was one time in 1997, again in Switzerland,
Okay.
but in Lucerne,
Okay.
not Gruyere. I can't say that word, but whatever.
Lucerne,
town.
like the cottage cheese.
Correct.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah, all the towns of Switzerland are named after dairy products.
Okay. Perfect.
So he was actually caught stealing a painting from a place there, but he totally played it cool. And when he was arrested, but he played it off as just like, and there's one thing about Stefan, the dude was amazingly cool under pressure. Like,
Well, that's
he
good.
did not break ever. Like he
Okay.
was just cool cat, man. And so he plays it off like, I don't know what happened. It was a total spur of the moment thing. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. But he had no criminal record. And so he got charged, but there was no jail time. And I don't know what exactly the actual punishment was, but and so he gets off, but he does get fingerprinted.
Oh.
So now he's in the system. So from then on, he always wore gloves.
Yeah.
Now this is 1997.
Okay.
But he goes all the way for 6 years, right?
Right.
So it's 2001. So how does he get caught? How does he eventually slip up? Well, he goes back to Switzerland, and it just so happens, and remember how I said he'll steal from the same museum, even like a week later. Like he'll just go back and,
Wow.
maybe he'll go into some museum and it has like 3 pieces that speak to him. So, he's got to come back the next day and steal the second one or whatever.
Yeah. This is a good job.
Well, it doesn't pay well, obviously.
No. I was just thinking that.
Yeah. But it's good for your living room, I guess.
Not really. It'd just be a hot mess. Anyway, keep
So
going.
he's in Switzerland, 2001. Just by chance, it's Lucerne again. Same town. And he's in there looking around at a museum, and he sees a bugle. Now, he didn't always steal paintings.
Like a bugle.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 15th century bugle, and it's one of only 3 known in the world.
So
Of
it's not
this
even
style.
art, really. It's an actual old instrument.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he decides,
It's expanding his.
well, he's got quite a few.
Oh. heirloom kind of
yeah.
things. Okay.
non-painting things that he thinks are cool. So he's like, that bugle, that'd be cool to have in my drawer or whatever.
My living room.
Yeah, wherever he puts the scrap. So he steals it. He's successful, but he forgot to wear his gloves.
No.
Yeah, what a moron.
They're going to get the fingerprints off the bugle.
So while stealing it, a security guard does notice him, but I don't know what that means exactly. I don't know if he saw him steal it and just couldn't catch him, or noticed him. I think what he did,
being suspicious.
Yeah, and then later, oh, this is missing. Oh, that guy was suspicious or whatever. So he gets home. He realizes he didn't wear gloves, and he knows if police fingerprint it and they find fingerprints, he's in the system, especially in Lucerne of all places, because that's where he was arrested. And so he sends Anne Catherine back to wipe down the case where the bugle was, which is smart.
Yeah.
But he goes with her and just stays outside.
That's not smart.
Versus just,
right.
not going at all.
Yeah.
So there's a journalist walking his dog outside of the museum, and he notices Stefan. Stefan's wearing this large trench coat, and he just looks out of place. Like, you can tell he's agitated, he's nervous, he's pacing, And so this journalist is just like, something's up with that guy. And so he goes and he alerts a security guard. Well, it just so happens to be the same security guard
from
the
4
day
years
before.
earlier.
No, that had just seen him and thought, like, oh, that's the suspicious guy. And so the security guard goes and confronts him. Long story short, he's arrested. Now, this is totally interesting little fun side note. Once this is all figured out and done, the dog of the journalist.
The dog?
Yeah, because the guy's walking the dog, right?
Oh,
The
okay.
journalist is walking the
Yeah,
dog.
I was not expecting you to go here.
Receives a lifetime supply of dog food for his role in helping out. Now, what his role is, I have no idea. But somebody.
That lucky owner.
Yeah.
I mean, really?
Dog was expensive.
food
He
is
just bought some dog food
Yeah.
today.
like $40.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Sure.
Love her, but still.
Well, and we bought a bunch of chicken hearts.
Yeah, she's not a big chicken heart. No,
Well, she
chicken
liked the
gizzard.
hearts. She
Yeah,
liked the
chicken gizzards.
Anywho, so he gets arrested. No, Anne Catherine is there, and she sees him get arrested.
And she acts like she doesn't know him.
Oh, totally. She's like, don't know that guy. But she books it out of there. And she goes back to France, back to their home. And guess who she tells?
His mom.
Tells mommy.
What happened?
What happened?
Like, she literally says, he stole something, he got arrested?
Correct.
Okay.
So, the story gets a little convoluted here.
Wow.
So stay with me.
Mom's
I
going to
might-
put on her mama bear pants.
Mama Bear comes out full swing. So, Stefan's fingerprinted, and boom, they got him, right? But they got him for the bugle. They have no clue at this time of the extent of his crimes.
Right.
They just know he's a guy that stole a bugle.
Right.
They don't know that he has $1.4 billion of art in his crummy apartment.
Right.
So, they get a search warrant for his apartment.
Uh-oh.
Back in France. But if I remember right, it took like 19 days or something like that.
I think with going like into different countries and stuff, you have a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, I know Europe's a little more,
Right.
but I would assume you are
A lot more
correct.
hoops to jump through, probably.
So when they enter his apartment, what do you think happens?
Well, Anne Catherine told Mom probably got a storage unit, so there's probably empty.
It is completely empty.
Yeah.
No art whatsoever.
This is insane.
Yes. His mother had taken it all out. But you say that she put it in a storage unit. She did not put it in a storage unit. Guess what she did with it?
Put it in her basement.
No, she destroyed it.
What?
Yeah.
Like burned it?
So most of the paintings she burned.
Oh no.
Yeah. Definitely the most expensive fire probably of all time.
Did she have any idea?
Well, that is a good question. Did she know the extent? So she burned a bunch of them. This is hilarious. Some of them she cut up and tried to put down her garbage disposal, which is a carburetor for our Canadian friends and listeners.
Terrible idea.
Yeah, that would totally back up your sink.
I bet carburetor is a common term in England and Australia and a lot of other Commonwealth countries. Okay?
Could be.
Okay.
I used to live in Belize. It's Commonwealth. I never heard the word carburetor.
Does Belize have carburetors?
I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either.
But maybe.
Okay.
I didn't have one, that's for sure. So she burns a bunch of the paintings. She dumps over 100 statues and other artifacts, bugles, things of that nature, into a local river. Now, going back to Stéphane in Switzerland, the police have... I'm sorry. Forget Stéphane for a minute.
Oh, okay.
So, well, even with Stéphane, they have no evidence of anything else going on, right?
Right.
Other than this bugle. But he's still in custody.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know what's going on
At home.
And so, there's a good chance that he's going to get away with all of this because they have no evidence to charge him with anything other than the bugle. Right? But fate would have something else to say. Because a week later, there's some hikers and they notice something funny in the river. And so they go and they fish it out, and it's some kind of
artifact.
Mm-hmm. So they tell authorities. Authorities send in divers. Divers pull out over 100 pieces of fine art. And so now all of a sudden it's, okay, but this is in France. And so they're like, we have all this fine art, no idea what it's doing in the bottom of this river, where it came from.
So weird.
Yeah. But we have somebody who's dumping fine art in the river. And so this information gets back to the police in Switzerland. Mm-hmm. And there's one officer who still has no idea these are connected. That's Stéphane. But he's like, well, this river's close to his hometown. And so he says, hey, French cops, can you send me a picture of something that you have? So they send him a picture. And he goes and he sits down with Stéphane.
And shows him.
And says, hey, look, the police in France have this. Now, again, he doesn't know Stéphane knows anything about it. Stéphane has no idea that his mom and girlfriend have dumped everything. For all he knows, in his brain, they've raided the house and they found everything. All he does is say, I don't know what that is. They still got nothing on him. But he just assumes that they have everything.
So he
confesses.
Oh, no.
And so they go through piece by piece by piece, and he confesses to all of it.
Even though he doesn't know his mom is burned.
Correct.
Oh, no.
And so...
this is a cluster.
It is.
Cluster, you know what?
Yes.
Okay.
And so he just submits all of it. And had he kept his mouth shut, then he probably would have gotten off just fine. But now he's not. So what do you think the sentence is for being the world's best art thief of all time? $1.4 billion. Much of which is now destroyed and gone.
10 years.
Do you think that would be a justifiable?
I legit have no idea how they decide any of this stuff.
So Stéphane served a whopping 26 months in jail. Not years, months.
Oh. Nobody cares about art.
Nobody cares about art, apparently.
I mean, really.
If you stole $1.4 billion from like a bank account, you'd be in jail for like ever.
Yeah.
But if you steal $1.4 billion worth of fine art, apparently you go to a nice ritzy prison for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, just over 2 years, I guess.
Huh.
So his mom served 18 months for destroying the art.
She got
Almost as much time.
almost as much time as him just for destroying it?
Yeah.
Huh.
And she claims a couple things. She claims that she destroyed it, one, because she didn't know what it was, like the value and everything.
I'm sure she didn't.
And two, she was so mad at him that she just wanted it
Oh.
gone.
Oh.
Who knows if that's true or not? But that's the
So the
story.
girlfriend got off scot-free?
Nope.
Oh.
So, interesting. Stefan would not indict her on anything. Like he would not.
He loves her.
He loves her. They're not together anymore, but
He loved her.
he loved her. Maybe he still loves her. Maybe she doesn't love him. I don't know. She did end up serving 6 months
For
her
just,
parts.
yeah,
In all of it.
compliance. And
Yeah. So, only served 26 months in jail
Wow.
for stealing all of
Was
that
his
art, man.
sentence like reduced? Was it?
So it was, but it was only like 3 years to begin with.
So
it
he shaved
wasn't
off like
10 months.
10 months.
Yeah.
Huh.
But
Interesting.
it's fascinating because he really would just go up to art and either, use his little screwdriver and just pop the little nails off the canvas and roll it up.
So crazy.
There were some that were in cases, but they were just glass cases screwed. There was no tripwires. There was no alarms.
Right.
So for some of them, he would stand there and kind of hide the screwdriver. And sometimes it would take 20 minutes to get a single screw. Like he would just, little turn, wait, little turn, wait,
Serious
little turn.
perseverance.
Yeah. Intense stuff. But, and I think you can go online, and I'm not an art person, but I think you can actually look at like the pieces.
Yeah.
And see what all of them. He wrote a book about all of it.
Did the stuff that got thrown in the river get put back in the museums?
I assume so.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Anything that could be salvaged
Yeah.
and saved was.
So bizarre.
Yeah. So in 2011, the police found 30 more stolen art pieces in his home. And he got another 3 years.
Oh my gosh, he did it again?
Yeah.
He's like a serial
Klepto.
art klepto.
Yeah.
Like can't not do it.
I know.
That's weird.
So he got out in 2014. And then in 2016,
He did it
he
again?
was placed under house arrest for trying to sell a paperweight that he stole from a St. Louis museum on eBay.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
You would think you would learn, like, okay, $1.4 billion collection. You never got caught because you didn't try to sell it. But you sell a paperweight that you stole from a museum on eBay.
Duh.
That gets you. But it's only house arrest, so that's nice.
Yeah, I guess I just feel like there might be a few screws loose.
Yeah. I always think, too, like, how'd you get in the States?
Yeah, that's true. Because that was, you said St. Louis?
Yeah.
Oh.
Apparently they don't care about art either.
I mean, I don't know if you can say that per se, but it appears that way.
Yeah. And then this year, spring of 2023, he was placed on house arrest with an ankle monitor for having stolen Roman coins from a German art museum. So I think he does like to steal things.
He needs to have like a tether to his house. It's like, 60 feet long. So he can go up the stairs and down the stairs and kind of out in his yard, but that's about it.
Definitely. As long as his house isn't within 60 feet of an art museum.
Yeah. Then he should be fine. He can
should
wave
be
at the
okay.
neighbors and go get the paper and,
Yeah, be neighborly.
get the mail. But yeah, that guy has serious mental issues. He just can't stop.
Can't stop. Won't stop. I think that's a song.
Can't stop. I'm sure it is.
Anyways.
Huh.
Yeah, but pretty impressive to steal $1.4 billion.
It's have your mom burn it.
Your mom burned a lot of it.
Did he was he mad about that? I mean, I wonder how he felt about that.
Probably.
I mean, if it spoke to him, I mean, his soul was just shattered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He probably felt the flames as it was being burned.
Oh, he probably did.
Because he was
But then you
attached.
couldn't even display them. So that if you feel it, but then you can never see it again because it's stacked with all the other artwork. What's the point?
I don't know. Well, you can see it for yourself. Obviously, he wasn't one of the egotistical people who like to buy things to show other people.
But even then, you really, in the capacity that he lived, it's not like he had a mansion that he could display all this artwork and actually see them. So they would literally be stacked side by side by side by side by side. You wouldn't really be able to see them.
He probably had a nice rotating system on the walls.
I doubt it.
You know what makes me think too, though? The guy must have no friends whatsoever.
Because people would come over to your house and then be like, this weird dude has all sorts of paintings all over the place.
Yeah. Unless they were just really ignorant too. I mean, if someone invited me over, let's say I met someone at the play or something, and they were like, hey, come over to my crummy apartment. And I went in and they had floor to ceiling paintings. I would never know if they were anything. I would have no idea.
But you'd still think it's strange.
Sure. I'd be like, wow, this is really weird. That's a lot of art all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Do you sell art? But I wouldn't know, oh my goodness. That's the second painting ever by
Whoever.
Dolly.
Yeah. No, you definitely wouldn't know that. Interesting. Well, I'm sorry.
What Catherine's up to today?
Yeah. Sorry for this guy. He just seems like, he needs
a better hobby.
He needs an intervention.
And an intervention. But a better hobby.
I don't know if you'd call that a hobby. That's past the point of a hobby.
Yeah, maybe that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's impressive.
That is impressive. There's no doubt about it.
Kudos to him.
And I love, again, just the screwdriver. That's all you need is a
That's
little
all you need,
screwdriver.
man. Keep that overhead down.
Yeah. Some good
If
overhead.
you had an Ocean's 11 team, I think how much money that would cost you.
I know.
Your 1.4 billion wouldn't be worth, it'd still be worth it, but you'd have to pay all that overhead.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's crazy.
I like your thinking, Ethne.
Yep.
So, anyways, if anyone's looking for a new hobby, I guess you could try to beat his record.
I wouldn't recommend it, but you
I
could
wouldn't
try.
recommend it, but if you do, we'll do a podcast on you.
Yeah. How about that? That's a good deal.
Yeah, I think it's a great deal.
Would totally do
You
it.
can get $1.5 billion worth of stolen art without getting caught. We'll do an episode on you.
I love it.
Perfect. Well, I think that's it for tonight then.
All right.
Well, everyone have a wonderful week. Be strange out there. And
But be kind. Be kind.
kind of strange?
No.
Or just kind?
Be extra kind.
Yeah, it is good to be kind to people.
Yeah.
The world needs more kindness.
It's true. They do.
Be strange and kind, everybody.
There we go.
Alrighty. Until next week, you guys all take care, and we will talk to you then. We are out of here.
Bye-bye.